Good morning. We're going to get started. If everybody can take their seats, please. Good morning. Good morning and Happy New Year. And welcome to Tuesday, January 13th, San Joaquin County Board of Supervisors meeting. We will now have a moment of silence, silent reflection, or silent prayer. Thank you. Vice Chair, could you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Sure.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Madam Clerk, can we have roll call, please?
Supervisor Gardia,
Present.
Supervisor Dhaliwal,
Present.
Supervisor Ding,
Here.
Supervisor Rickman,
Here.
and Chair Canepa.
Here. Thank you very much. So at this time, I'll do my closing remarks, and then we'll do the election of the new board chair. So colleagues, staff, and members of the public, as we conclude this year, I am grateful for the opportunity to serve as chairman of the San Joaquin County Board of Supervisors during our county's 175th anniversary. It has been a meaningful year marked by both reflection and progress. Together, this board has addressed complex challenges facing our community, and while we may always not agree, I am proud of the professionalism, collaboration, and dedication to the public service shown throughout the year. I want to thank my fellow supervisors, our county administrator, department heads, and the many county employees whose hard work makes effective governance possible. San Joaquin's county strength lies in its people. And as we honor 175 years of history, we remain responsible for shaping the legacy we leave behind. Serving as chairman during this milestone year has been an honor. I am confident in the leadership ahead and pleased to hand off this chairmanship, knowing the board will continue to serve the people of San Joaquin County with integrity and commitment. Thank you. Okay, so announce the item is listed on the agenda. So what are we calling this, election of new board chair?
Election of officers for
Election
2026.
officers, and then I'm gaveling out or gaveling in?
You've already gavelled in, so you're going to ask your fellow board members for a motion and a second, and then call for a roll call vote, please.
Okay, there we have it. Can I get a motion?
Motion to elect Sunny Dhaliwal as next chairman.
And a second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right.
And Chair,
We have,
we also need the election of vice chair.
Oh, vice chair.
I'll make a motion to elect Supervisor Ding as vice chair for 2026.
second.
First and second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? No, 5-0 for Supervisor Ding.
Congratulations.
It's all you.
And I get to keep my chair.
Yeah, right.
Huh?
They're already getting rid of me.
Stay next to you.
So this is the hard chair.
Yep.
Thank you so much. It's such a humbling experience. I want to thank my colleagues for giving me an opportunity. This year, we celebrate our nation's 250th anniversary. The nation that gave me everything. It gave me life. It gave me an opportunity to help my fellow Americans, opportunity after opportunity, planning commissioner, then council member, then mayor, then I joined this board a year ago, and today, I got the opportunity to serve this board as the chair for 2026. I left India 40 years ago with almost nothing but a dream. I came looking for a better life, but I had no idea that God had this, in place for me. It's only possible in this nation. May God bless our beloved country. We just celebrated New Year. New Year going to bring new challenges, new opportunities, and a new heart, I should say, maybe refurbished. Supervisor Canepa, you did an amazing job. Not only you, your staff worked hard. I want to thank you, both Gina and Nancy. And I know Beckett and Claudia are ready. Looking forward to serve you for this year as your mayor. I want to thank everybody, all the elected officials who are here, the police chiefs, all the council members from different cities, the fire chiefs, thank you, the city managers, thank you so much. May God bless you. Thank you so much for your prayers and your best wishes. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Let's take a 15 minutes break and then we will reconvene at 9:25. waiting for. Ready? Ready?
I'm always ready.
Thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, the board will reconvene after the short recess. Madam Clerk, can you please read the next items?
Thank you, Chair Dollywall. And it may take me a minute to get used to saying Chair Dollywall.
No, no worries.
So at the request of the board, we're going to go a little bit out of order so that the St. Mary's school kids, who are all super anxious to get back to school, can go ahead and head on out of here. So we're going to take the recognition of the St. Mary's football team, who won the 2025 CIF D2 AA state champions, and also their coach, Tony Franks, who received Stockton's first Cal High Sports State Coach of the Year. So I have 3 recognitions to read as I invite the team down to the podium. First, in recognition of the St. Mary's football team members for their football championship. This remarkable accomplishment reflects the discipline, teamwork, perseverance, and sportsmanship demonstrated by the student athletes, the coaches, and the school community. Your championship season is a testament to your hard work, determination, and unity, and it brings great pride to St. Mary's High School and to the residents of the County of San Joaquin. The County of San Joaquin proudly commends St. Mary's High School football team for representing our community with excellence both on and off the field, and extends best wishes for continued success in academics, athletics, and your future endeavors. The board also wishes to recognize the head coach, assistant coaches, and the statisticians. Your leadership and dedication reflect the discipline, teamwork, perseverance, and sportsmanship that has led to this remarkable accomplishment. This championship season is a testament to the hard work, determination, and unity that has brought great pride to St. Mary's High School and to the residents throughout San Joaquin County. We proudly commend the St. Mary's High School Athletics Department for representing your community with excellence and would like to extend our best wishes for success. And then lastly, the board wishes to recognize Coach Tony Franks as Coach of the Year. Your exceptional leadership in guiding St. Mary's High School and for earning the honor of the Stockton's first Cal High Sports State Coach of the Year. Your dedication, discipline, and commitment to excellence have elevated your program, inspired student athletes, and brought great pride to the St. Mary's High School community and San Joaquin County. Congratulations and best wishes. I'd like to invite Chair Dollywall and Supervisor Canepa, who requested this recognition.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Job well done. I want to congratulate the head coach and the coaching staff, and I will turn it over to Supervisor Canepa.
Wow.
Yeah.
D2 is in the house, Supervisor Rickman, right? Here we are, alumni, class of 84, St. Mary's High School. So yeah, shout out.
Nice, attaboy.
Tony and I were dance dads, so that's how far our relationship goes back.
Right.
But I just want to commend you guys on the great job. Also, Nancy Muniz's son is my aide, and he's on the team, so shout out to Nancy and their family. And our DA, has one of the DA's family members is on the team here. So thank you for what you do and the role models that you young men are and the role model that you are for them. So it's an absolutely amazing day for San Joaquin County, an amazing day to have Coach Franks for 27 years being your guys' leader nonstop, and his family. And I see Joe Curtis over there, is St. Mary's too. And so it's things like this that keep kids out of trouble that we need more of. discipline, dignity, respect, and a state championship, which means volumes, not only for me, because it's great, better than Tracy, but we'll leave that alone. So, because Rickman's always given me a hard time, so I have to give it back to him. But thank you for a job well done. Thank you for coming down here and representing St. Mary's High School and the city of Stockton. So I appreciate you, and we've got lots of stuff, groovy swag here, and we'll take some photos. So would you like to say something?
Yeah, first of all, thank you so much for having us down here. We really appreciate the opportunity to come down and be recognized. We didn't realize it was such a big meeting with the changing of the gavel and so on, and that was a big deal, but this is a real big deal. So let's make sure we recognize what the big deal is. This first state championship in football for the city of Stockton or San Joaquin County. It's this team and our staff and the efforts that these young men did shined a real light on this area and on this community. It shows you what young people can do. If the young people in a community are the future of that community, we got this. And we've got some broad, strong shoulders to carry the weight into the future with these young men. So proud of their efforts and their determination and their persistence to make it into the playoffs, win 5 really difficult playoff games in a row in dramatic fashion, being able to hang in there and get this done. And it's just kind of amazing how the efforts of a high school football team can galvanize a community. So many people have been so thrilled with this effort and what these young men have done. And we're so thankful to the community and really everyone who has reached out and offered their well wishes. In addition to that, we had one of the coolest police escorts out of Stockton on the morning of the state game. The community has been incredible, and we're so thankful for that. And we're proud of what we've done, and really glad that we could do this for San Joaquin County, for the city of Stockton, and for this community. So thank you very much. We're very, very pleased.
Supervisor Rickman?
Thank you, Chairman. Yes, congratulations. I mean, what a great accomplishment. And, I'm a huge football fan, especially high school and college. And I know my dad and we go to our, Tracy football game on Friday nights. And, so I've seen St. Mary's when I was going to school to what it is now. And you guys always had a good team. But, hey, you guys are absolutely exceptional to win state. And, one thing I would be cool, all of us up here, we, give each other a bad time, hey, Bulldogs, and you got St. Mary's, Lathrop, Stag? Stag and Franklin. So, it would be cool if, Coach, and congratulations to you and with your exceptional career. I mean, hey, you don't have great teams without great coaches. So, thank you for what you're doing for our students and kids here in Stockton. But what I was getting to is, hey, I got a Bulldog helmet in my office. He has Franklin in his office. It'd be cool to see St. Mary's in yours. So, and we didn't wear helmets. and that explains a lot. But again, hey, congratulations, you guys, and God bless each and every one of you. And I'll look forward to seeing what you guys are doing here for the next couple of years.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Vice Chair Ding?
Thank you. Congratulations. I mean, grinding it out, game after game after game. And it's so nice not to get calls from my friends who went to De La Salle this year. I mean, they weren't even in it. Is Mayor Fugazi and Vice Mayor Lee still here? I expect the entire city council meeting tonight to be about the St. Mary's high school football team.
I hate to point it out, but we already did it.
Well, do it again. Do it again.
Yeah, we've
Hey,
been there.
Thank you very much.
hey, congratulations! You're a shining star, and it is great when you get calls from other areas asking about St. Mary's high school football, and they read about it in the news in Michigan or what have you. You made us proud.
Thank you.
Supervisor Gadi?
Man, there's nothing to say that, you get to live the rest of your life and say, we won the state championship. That is huge. I think the biggest thing is sports give young adults structure. And, regardless if you're going to move forward in a career, in whatever career you choose, you'll always remember your high school days and Coach Frank and your mentors who kind of really, and what I see is draw a roadmap to life. And, you work hard and you get something out of it. I'm sure you have people on your team that, they just show up, wear the uniform, and you have you have young adults who strive to do great, and that's why you guys won the state championship. And so I am a former cheer dad at St. Mary's. My daughters went to St. Mary's. I was always jealous because I sat there, watched my daughter play, but I really, really, used to be a football coach, really, really wanted to engage in the football. And so it's just something to be proud of, and congratulations.
Thank you. Perfect. Okay.
We'll take a photo.
Do we want to be our backs to
Yeah,
there?
come on, come on up
Okay.
and we'll-
Fellas, fill in the curve there and turn around. Back.
Supervisor Canepa? Supervisor Canepa?
Supervisor Canepa?
Go ahead, Sandy. So,
Sorry, yeah. Thank you, Chair, Vice Chair, or, yeah, incoming Chair and Chair. I just wanted to point out that my staff, Annette Rivas, also has a son on the St. Mary's State Championship. Oh. And Susie Sayers in my staff has a nephew on the team as well.
Madam Clerk, next item, please.
Thank you, Chair. So now we will go to the formal recognition of outgoing Chair Paul Canepa of District 2. So Chair Dollywall, we have a plaque for you to present to Supervisor Canepa. We also have several organizations here that I'll call up once you're done with that presentation who would also like to acknowledge both you and the outgoing chair.
Thank you.
trying to give my plaque away.
Can you please join us? Supervisor Canepa, thank you so much once again, sir. It was a fun year. I really appreciate the hard work you and your staff did. Thank you. God bless you.
Absolutely, thank you. But more importantly, as a, colleagues and as a team, and we don't agree on everything, but I think that you led a board that allowed us to do it with integrity and respect, and for that I thank you.
Paul, yeah, thank you for all the work that you did. I mean, hey, man, this guy works hard. I mean, he's everywhere. He's throughout the county. You're always at some event. Yeah, I even let him in my district like 3 times. He had the punch card, and he got 3, and then he was out. But, hey, even as board members or colleagues, and he's the chair, and we do have questions, a lot of different items we have to go through the chair. And, no matter, I'm a late bird, so I'll call him 10, 11, sometime midnight, and this guy picked up the phone. That's how dedicated he is to San Joaquin County. And not only to San Joaquin County, but that work-life balance, and you still, make sure your family is number one. Your wife is here. There she is. Your beautiful wife is here, and so congratulations, and thank you for all the hard work that you did.
Great job, outgoing chair. You had a challenging year. It was 175 years, so you did a phenomenal job of going to the different cities and presenting our 175 years. I want to commend you on the hard work that you've done and your team that works behind you. So you guys do a great job helping and supporting outgoing Chair Canepa. So off to a new year and ready for sunny.
Thank you so much.
I want to thank Gina and Nancy, my staff, for putting up with me. Obviously, my wife, Leslie. And then Rochelle and Chelsea and Katie for doing, we did birthday parties. So we went to every city in the county and we did a gala. And we made San Joaquin County proud of our heritage. So I want to thank everybody. Some of these guys didn't like it because I made them show up. They always say that I talk too much. So I'm going back to my old seat. I'm going back to my old seat so I could stir it up from there. And congratulations to Chair Dollywall and Vice Chair Dang. We do that. We do not always get along, but we make decisions and we move on. And I think that's the most important part of good government is to be able to voice your opinions, not always agree, and then move on. And I think that's one thing that we can be very prideful of. So it's been an honor to serve as chair. I'll obviously miss it, but I'll be glad to go back to my old seat. So thank you so very much for supporting me, staff and everybody. So thank you.
Thank you, sir. Supervisor Canepa, we have a token of love for you.
At least I get it while I'm still alive, so that's good.
Let me read it for you. Presented to Paul Canepa, Chair of the Board of Supervisors, year 2025. Integrity, service, and commitment presented on January 13, 2026. San Joaquin County Board of Supervisors. Mario Gardia, 1st District. Paul Canepa, 2nd District. Stephen J. Ding, Vice Chair, 4th District. Robert Rickman, 5th District, and the best district. Sunny Dhaliwal, Chair, 3rd District. Please, in the middle, sir. Here you go.
Hold on. Supervisor Canepa? Hold on. I'd like at this time to invite Congressman Adam Gray's representative Tammy Dunbar to the podium, who would like to recognize the outgoing chair.
Supervisor Canepa, with appreciation of and deep gratitude for your service and commitment to the people of San Joaquin County as their 2025 Chairman of the Board of Supervisors, we look forward to your continued dedicated service as Supervisor of District 2. Congratulations and thank you.
Next, I'd like to ask Mayor Fugazi of the City of Stockton. Did you have a presentation would like to say a few words?
Yes and no.
Okay.
I'd like to do it for both of them.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
I will just say I smudged it, so I have to bring it back. But to my paisan, Chair Canepa, outgoing chair, it's always been a pleasure to serve with you. And as it's been echoed, we know that it's not always easy. You've got 5 different personalities up there, but I think you did an amazing job at navigating that. And now you can have a little rest because I know that you have been going 100 miles an hour. As for incoming Chair Dhaliwal, you are the epitome of the American dream. You have come to this country, you have taken advantage of every opportunity that has come your way to not only better for yourself and your family, but for your city, your county, and your country. I look forward to continuing to work with you and everybody on the board. I have the pleasure of sitting on COG with Rickman, Ding, and yourself, as well as Rail with Ding, and of course, you know, Mario, Supervisor Gardea, and I go way back. And I look forward to us continuing to all work together for the betterment of our county. So I wish you all the best as you move forward, and I can't wait to see where we end up this year. So thank you.
Mayor Kinjo from the City of Lathrop, would you like to say a few words?
Yes, thank you. Wow. I just want to thank all the supervisors, my friends, I call them my friends, Robert Rickman, Supervisor Ding, Supervisor Mario Gadia, and my other Paul, the outgoing chair of this body. Thank you so much for what you have done, Chair Canepa, and the outgoing. I know it was rough, but you did pull us through. So now to my boss. His story is a unique story. It's the American story, like Mayor Fugazi has said. And I'm a beneficiary of that story. Lathrop has never had any representation up to this level that I know of. That is from the city of Lathrop, I meant. We do have representative supervisors, but to be coming from the city of Lathrop, a sleeping city 20 years ago, that our supervisor Daliwa turned around to become one of the fastest growing cities in the state of California. I'm thankful for all your support. I'm thankful for what you have done and the example you have left for us in Lathrop, and that you will continue to live for this region and for the county of San Joaquin. I implore all our friends, Supervisor Rickman, Supervisor Ding, Supervisor Mario, please support the incoming chair. Give him the level of support that is befitting to a hard-working man. So I'm very, very grateful. On behalf of the city of Lathrop, I'd like to present certificates of congratulations to San Joaquin County Board of Supervisors and now the incoming chair, Sonny Daliwa. In recognition of your dedication and steadfast commitment to public service, today we celebrate this new chapter in your leadership. As mayor of the city of Lathrop, I extend my sincere congratulations and best wishes for continued success and an impactful term as chair of the San Joaquin County Board of Supervisors. Thank you, Madam Clerk. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Shall we good?
Thank you, Chair. Next, we have a recognition or proclamation requested by District 5 Supervisor Robert Rickman, proclaiming Religious Freedom Day in San Joaquin County. And I would like to invite Margaret Boyd and representatives of the People of Christ Missionary Baptist Church as I read this proclamation, which states, whereas in San Joaquin County, we maintain that everyone has a right to their own beliefs and the exercise thereof, and fully respect all places of worship, including churches, gurdwaras, mosques, synagogues, temples, and more. And whereas there was a time when our own citizens lacked religious freedom, prompting Thomas Jefferson to write the Virginia Statute for Religious Freedom in 1777, which was passed in 1786, asserting that civil rights do not depend on religious beliefs, and what a person thinks is no business of the government, thereby guaranteeing the right of citizens to worship freely. And whereas in 1993, Religious Freedom Day was enacted by then President of the United States, George W. Bush, to promote peace and acceptance and to show support for people in our country and throughout the world who still suffer harassment, violence, and death for their beliefs. And whereas faith is an integral part of the daily lives of countless people who have come together to serve our local communities, such as San Joaquin County's own People of Christ Missionary Church, which encourages prayer and the study of God's Word, both within the church and in daily life, and generosity and compassion for our community as a whole. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Board of Supervisors of San Joaquin County does hereby proclaim January 16th, 2026, as Religious Freedom Day in San Joaquin County, and encourages the members of our community to observe the day with remembrance, appropriate ceremonies, and activities to express the gratitude of our own freedoms and support to those still lacking. Presented this 13th day of January 2026. Chair Dhaliwal and Supervisor Rickman.
Thank you, Rochelle. Supervisor Rickman, thank you so much for putting this item on the agenda. It means a lot to all of us. You got the floor, sir.
Thank you, Chairman. Pastor, thank you and your family for being here. I'm going to turn it over to you. Say a few words, sir.
Great, amen. Good morning. Happy New Year's. Congratulations. Amen. I give all glory to God, to my Lord and Savior, Jesus, who is the Christ. And to my supervisor, Robert Rickman, thank you for this opportunity. And thanking the board as a whole for reminding us, the people of this great country, that we still have religious freedoms. So I appreciate the opportunity to come before you, and I accept this recognition on behalf of the people of Christ Missionary Baptist Church and the community of Tracy, California. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Pastor. And before we come up and take pictures and return it to my chair, I just want to say a few words with your permission, Chairman. I bring this forward, and, we all, I think, sometimes take for granted the liberties that we have here in the United States, and, who we pray to or not pray to, in the God we believe in, whatever God that may be. It's a inherent right, and it's not a gift from the state. It's something that we are born with. And, you see what's going on in the other different countries throughout the world where people are being prosecuted or put to death because of what they believe. And the United States is a bastion for freedom and for people, and that's one of the reasons people come from all over the world to this great country, so they can believe what they want, think the way they want, and pray and practice their faith. So it is a very important right that I think, and I believe that we all need to remember and teach our children the freedom that we have here in the United States. And Pastor, thank you and congregation for all you do in the city of Tracy and the county of San Joaquin. We appreciate it. And I'm going to turn it over to our chairman.
Thank you, sir. Please present the proclamation to Pastor.
Chair Dollywall, I'm sorry, before you leave, I believe a representative from Congressman Gray's office also has a recognition of you that she would like to present very quickly.
So sorry, I thought we were doing them separately. Chair Dollywall, in recognition and celebration of assuming the role of 2026 San Joaquin County Board of Supervisors Chair. Also, from the Congressman, in gratitude for your many years of leadership and dedicated service to the people of the city of Lathrop and of the county of San Joaquin. God bless you.
Thank you, Tim. Thanks, Rochelle. I think we made kind of halfway so far. So thank you for all the help. Next, we have public comments. Now is the time for public comments on matters within the jurisdiction of the Board of Supervisors that are not listed on the agenda and minutes. Consent calendar and closed session items. We request that you fill out a comment form if you address the board in person. There's a time limit of 3 minutes for these comments. There is a device on the podium with a green, yellow, and red light. The yellow light will come on 30 seconds before the end of the 3 minutes. With regard to public comments, the law strictly limits the ability of board members to discuss matters not on the agenda, so this is not an appropriate time to have a discussion with the board regarding your comments. We ask that you refrain from personal attacks during your comments and that you address all comments to the Board of Supervisors, not to the audience. Comments from the public may not reflect the viewpoint of the Board of Supervisors. The first speaker is Tim Robertson.
Good morning, County Board of Supervisors, staff. My name is Tim Robertson. I'm Executive Director of the San Joaquin Building Trades Council, representing 12,000 union construction workers and their families, and the many more who want to earn their way into these careers. I want to start by congratulating Chairman Dhaliwal. Well-earned, very excited for your leadership, thanking outgoing Chairman Canepa for a great year of service, and all of you county supervisors for your leadership. I also wanted to take this moment to celebrate an amazing partnership that the building trades has with the county and several departments. We don't take enough time to celebrate wins and successes, but a week ago we had a graduation of our MC3 Apprentice Readiness Program in the San Joaquin County Jail. We had 7 student graduations. That brings our total of MC3 graduates in the jail to 50 over the last 2.5 years. This has been an incredible partnership with the jail itself, Captain Williamson, all of the correctional offices, WorkNet, Patty Virgin here is the leader who provides supportive services, the DA office, DA Freitas providing support. But we are training incarcerated individuals to get a running start upon their release to earn apprenticeships and awesome careers in the union construction trade. As I mentioned, we've had about 50 students go through this class already, where they learn, they get certifications in OSHA safety, Red Cross, forklift, and familiarity with tools, and they learn about all of the apprenticeship programs so that they can apply successfully and get a running start to live their life anew upon their release. We are very proud that among our students, we have an extremely low recidivism rate. So in general, for the jail, unfortunately, about 75% of individuals who were released from the jail return. Our graduates from our training program, that number is 5%. And this is due to the partnership with the jail, with WorkNet, with our program, with our casework, to make sure that these individuals have a new lease on life and are investing and are invested in and developing the ability to make that transition in a way that, that is uncommon. We bring this to you today in this day of celebration because this is an amazing partnership through multiple counties, many individuals that have put themselves out there and taken some risks to get this program off the ground, and it is highly successful, and we're looking forward to continuing it. The only limiting factor for this program is the number of students that we can have, because we're not going to make promises that we can't keep about available jobs, which is why we spend so much time promoting opportunities for there to be more union careers in San Joaquin County. And I appreciate all of your support in our efforts to do that. Thank you all very much. And again, congratulations, Chairman Dhaliwal.
Thank you, sir. Molly Watkins.
Good morning, gentlemen. Welcome. 2026. So, elections. We got lots of them this year. And our Election Advisory Committee, EAC, has not met since March of last year because of this, because of that, and whatnot. So I understand we have a new chairman. And you are also the chairman of the EAC, I think, right? Oh, okay. Well, we need to find out who that is, and we need to schedule a meeting quickly because time is of the essence. And in the realm of public opinion, people still don't think our elections are transparent, nor are they fair and honest. So, can we do something about that? Let's have a meeting, let's talk about it, and let's see if we can do something to fix it. Thank you.
Thanks, Molly. Vanessa Bourbons.
Good morning, Chair Dollywall. Congratulations, Vice Chair Supervisor Ding, and Supervisors, County Council, County Administrator. My name is Vanessa Barberis, and I'm here this morning from WM, formerly known as Waste Management. And I have here with me Todd Ninehouse. He is our Director of Operations for Northern California and Nevada. And he has been overseeing our hauling transition to take over Republic's contract in the county for Refuse Service Area C. So I'm here this morning to provide an update as we're closing out the second week of the new service. We began on January 2nd, and during week 1, we successfully launched 12 new collection routes. That's for over 19,000 homes that were transitioning services. We also deployed spare trucks and drivers to recover the extra bags of trash that residents are leaving out. There's some change of service days that created that. And we also have extra drivers out to deliver new carts to residents. We're receiving a lot of phone calls from residents that weren't on the list or did not get initially set up with service, and we're making all of those deliveries, as well as providing cart size changes for the residents that want to change their trash size now that they're getting used to their new service. So as expected with a hauling transition of this size, there's been a higher than normal call volume. Our customer service agents have been handling each of those calls with care, and we really appreciate county staff forwarding over any residents that are needing some extra help and care with their transition. We're also aware that some of the Republic recycling crates have been left out in the neighborhoods. So yesterday we put out a message on social media letting residents know that if they didn't want to keep those crates, they can actually put them inside of their recycling carts, and we will collect them and take them to our recycling facility where they'll be baled and shipped out to recycle that plastic. As we move into the third week of service, now towards the end of this week, we are expecting to see things to really stabilize and calm down. And we do appreciate the county staff and residents' patience through this transition. We appreciate the support and the partnership. And again, if you receive any questions or concerns, please feel free to send them out to me, and we will get it taken care of for you right away.
Thank you, Vanessa. Samuel Anderson.
First of all, congratulations to all of you, especially the newcomers here. You ran the campaign quite well, and I wish you a great journey ahead and very prosperous for you. And thank you for your time as our past chairman. And Sonny, congratulations to you as well. Good morning, Chair and members of the board. My name is Samuel Anderson. I'm the CEO of Cruxion LLC and also of Cruxion Energy. I'm a business owner here in San Joaquin County, and I appreciate the opportunity to speak today. As we begin a new year, I wanted to ask about the county's priorities and long-term planning in 4 areas that I believe are tightly connected to our future prosperity: energy, advanced infrastructure, agriculture, and jobs. First, on energy. Energy costs affect everything: families, farms, local businesses, and the county's own operations. For agriculture in particular, power prices directly impact irrigation, cold storage, processing, and transportation. For emerging industries like AI and data services, reliable and affordable power is often the deciding factor in where facilities are built. So my first question is, what is the county's outlook for reducing or stabilizing energy costs over the next several years, especially for agricultural, public facilities, and new industrial development? And more specifically, is the county exploring clean or alternative power sources to improve affordability and reliability? Are public-private infrastructure partnerships part of that strategy? And how does energy planning fit into the economic development for attracting new employers? Second, on AI and database infrastructure. Across the country, counties are competing to attract data centers and advanced computing facilities. These projects bring construction jobs, long-term technical employment, tax revenue, and demand for local services. But they also require strong grid capacity, land use planning, and coordinated infrastructure. So I'd like to ask, does San Joaquin County have a strategy for attracting or supporting AI and data center development? And if so, what infrastructure upgrades are being planned to support that type of growth? And how does the county balance that opportunity with water use, land preservation, and agricultural priorities? Which brings me to agriculture. San Joaquin County is one of the most important agricultural regions in the country. Protecting that industry while modernizing infrastructure is not easy, but it's critical. So my third question is, how is the county planning to support agriculture as energy prices rise and technology restates food production, logistics, and water management? And then finally, jobs. Residents want stable careers that allow them to stay in the county. Agricultural, energy, infrastructure, and technology all represent pathways of long-term achievement if developed thoughtfully. So I'd gratefully like to hear what types of job growth is the county prioritizing for the next 5 to 10 years? Skilled trades, clean energy technicians, data engineering roles, AG technology, and food system modernization. I appreciate the board's leadership and welcome the opportunity to learn more about the county's direction in these areas. Thank you very much for your service and your time.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Lauren Cardinelli.
Sorry, I didn't sleep last night. Kids can't do it. Always remember, be fruitful and multiply. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit, amen. For the repose of the souls of the twins from Idaho who succumbed to their 18-month injections with liver failure and encephalitis, dying 6 days after injection. For Grace Shara, who was medically kidnapped, a woman with medical Down syndrome. She was assigned a COVID diagnosis, given a DNR, and was medically waterboarded while her parents were barred from the hospital. They watched her die over the phone. Heavenly Father, watch over and guide us. Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou amongst women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners, now and at the hour of our death. Again, always remember, be fruitful and multiply. In Japan, they've identified that 500,000 people have succumbed to the lethal injection of the mRNA in one of their data sets. If you take that out over the 5.5 billion people that were injected, that means through the exercise of the COVID response, 65,500,000 people were murdered by our health services agencies across the exercise. Now let's go back to the Fourth Reich. The Third Reich. So the Third Reich had a program that was called T4. They made lists of dead people. These are COVID lists of dead people. Do you see a similarity here? Things are really sort of going along. After the Tuskegee experiments, Human Health Services decided they were going to make a Bell-Rott report, but they left out social experimentation. The COVID response was a social experiment to see how far we would let people do it, and they lawfully did it because the committee denied addressing it. So I'll address it here so everybody can understand what we're going through because it's illegal and it's criminal malfeasance. You had the Third Reich that was settled by Nuremberg and the final solution, which we're living through. You went to the Tuskegee experiments that led to where I got poisoned as a child through the 1986 Act. I can, ask for some money from VSIP if you want. The color revolution is currently going on. That's the Fourth Reich. They subverted themselves into all of our government positions after they left Germany, and they've been indoctrinating children with perverse things since then. We have Roe v. Wade, which killed about 60 million children in America. 75% were Black Americans. Thanks to Margaret Sanger's great job. Then you move over here to the T4 experiment that I'd made. In Canada right now, you can be murdered by maid at a hospital if you don't feel well. And the New World Order, which I call the Glocazes, the UN and the WHO think we're all one person and we need to be collectivized. And then there's the COVID CSIP down here, which is a euthanasia program where they've been poisoning people for the last 5 years. You guys have an IIPP, and in the IIPP it says you are to protect life of people, including the public, from risk resulting in your operation. You did not have a safety officer in your COVID response, so everyone got hurt.
Thank you, Lord. Is there anybody else who would like to speak under public comments? Yes, please.
Good morning, Chair Dhaliwal, Vice Chair Ding, and Supervisors. I'm here to give you an update from Congressmember Adam Gray. We're happy to share that the House voted to extend the expired Affordable Care Act enhanced premium tax credits for 3 years. As the Congressman said, Americans are already struggling with the cost of living, and Congress has the responsibility to protect our people from skyrocketing premiums and loss of care. This is a step in the right direction, and I urge my colleagues in the Senate to immediately take up and pass this bill. Congressman Gray is also co-sponsoring the Agricultural and Rural Road Improvement Act, which will dedicate existing highway formula funds to improve roads and bridges on rural local roads and rural minor collectors, totaling nearly $1.5 billion over 5 years under current spending levels. Lastly, Chair Dhaliwal, we are proud to announce that the 2025 Congressional App Challenge winner for California's Congressional District 13 is Alad Bassani from Lathrop's River Islands High School. He earned the top score. We had 3 judges, award-winning judges from across the country, all STEM and tech teachers. He got the top score from every single one of them. His app is called Terra Bloom, and it helps users detect and explore harmful algal blooms around the world, visualizing data in real time and turning complex satellite imagery into accessible, user-friendly platform. As the Congressman said, we spend millions of dollars to restore our wetlands and rivers, but it can sometimes be difficult to know the impact we are having. This incredible app helps to fill that gap. It will enhance our ability to remain good stewards of our rivers, lakes, and streams. The judges were very impressed, and so am I. And as always, gentlemen, if you have any constituents or if you need any help from the Congressman with federal issues, we are here to help. Contact our offices at 209-226-6880, and we'll get right to work for you. Thank you.
Anybody else? Hearing none, we'll move to consent calendar. Board members, any item needs to be pulled?
Number 20.
Anybody else? Yes, sir.
Number 7, Chair.
7. Anybody else?
18, I'm sorry, it was 18, not 20.
Not 20.
And Chairman, since he said 20, I'm going to pull 20. Pull 20. I was wondering why Chair can't, or Supervisor Canepa were pulling my things. But yeah, I just have a quick question on 20, that's all.
Okay, so 7 and 20,
Yeah,
Supervisor. Okay.
thank you. I guess that's more information than you needed.
Anybody else? Nope. All right, let's go 7 and 20, Supervisor Rickman. You got the floor, sir.
Thank you, Chairman. Hey, I just want to real quick, on number 7, okay. Clerk of the board, do we have an admin fix or something on that?
Yes, Supervisor Rickman, I do need to read into the record before the board approves of the consent calendar. The board letter was modified after the agenda was published to make a clerical correction to the last paragraph on page 2.
All right, thank you. And since we are a pastor here, this is the item. You don't have to talk by any means. We just had to do an admin, but I just want to give you an opportunity if anybody wishes to say anything. No. You don't have to. Don't make me pressure you. You're good? All right, thank you. That was it, Chair. I appreciate it.
How about?
Or number 20?
20, please.
Thank you, Chairman. Again, this is adopt a side letter agreement with all county recognized bargaining units and retro approved Friday, December 26th as an additional regular holiday for calendar year 2025, only for all county employees. You know, I just wanted to, you know, I didn't mention it last time we had our special meeting because we did it pretty rapidly. We had a closed session, came out here. You know, we all unanimously voted on it and we moved on. But it was a week before, I think that Friday before Christmas, and I called our CAO, Ms. Regala, about this idea, and, you know, that, like I said, the whole entire board approved. But I just want to say thank you to our CAO, to Jennifer Goodman, our HR director, Karen, our county counsel, and our clerk of the board, Rochelle DeBoard, for all that, you know, all the work that you guys did. You know, people don't realize when, you know, you give a day off like this, that you think that a lot of people think, well, you just come to the board and, you know, you vote on it, you move on, and that wasn't the case. I think I called you at like 8:30 in the morning or something, and you spent, and everybody I mentioned spent the entire day to get this to work, to make this happen, for this day off to happen. So I just want to say thank you all for your very hard work. It's probably something you didn't expect. I know you didn't expect it. And like we mention here all the time about the dedication of our employees, dedication all of you with your departments and to get the job done. So thank you. That's just what I wanted to say.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Supervisor Canepa, item number 18.
I just wanted to commend HR and Jennifer Goodman and the staff and all of our attorneys at County Counsel's Office, the Public Defender's Office, and the District Attorney's Office for agreeing to a contract. I think it's important that we have, you know, good paying jobs in our community to not only attract, but to retain our folks in those departments. So I wanted to say thank you, and thank you to the employees that represent the Attorneys Association in our county.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Rochelle, do we need a separate motion for 7, 18, and 20?
No, I don't believe anybody's requesting a separate vote.
Move to approve.
Second.
Call for vote, please. Motion passes 5-0. County Council, we can move to discussion items, right? Okay. First discussion item, we have approval of letter of support for the San Joaquin County Historic Museum in furtherance of retaining accreditation by American Alliance of Museums. Staff report, please.
Can you hear me now? Oh.
Yes.
Hi, good morning, Chair Dollywall and members of the board, Susie Sayers, Senior Deputy County Administrator. I would like to invite Philip Moreau, the Executive Director of the San Joaquin Historical Society Museum, to provide you additional information on this item.
Good morning. How are you guys doing? Thank you for having me, Supervisors, Chair Dollywall. So the San Joaquin County Historical Museum is a public-private partnership between the County of San Joaquin and the San Joaquin County Historical Society. One of the things that we've been really proud of for the past probably about 50 years or so, since 1976, is that we've been an accredited museum with the American Alliance of Museums. Only about 4%, depending on the year, 3 or 4% of museums in the United States are able to attain and retain accreditation, What that means is that we operate at a professional standard with respect to artifact management, so keeping artifacts conserved and preserved, documents, et cetera. Part of that comes down to fiscal management and the fact that our organization manages itself professionally with to general accounting principles, annual audits, reviews, et cetera. And our reaccreditation takes place between July of 2026 and October of 2026. So it's going to be this year. One of the things that the American Alliance of Museums asks is that organizations that are part of a partnership or are structured as a partnership like ours have letters of support from the boards of both agencies. So that would be the San Joaquin County Historical Society's board as well as the Board of Supervisors of the county. So I'm humbly asking that the Board of Supervisors would approve the letter of support that Susie drafted.
Any questions, Board? No. No questions. Do we have a?
I'll make the motion to approve the letter for the good work that they do with the Historical Society.
Yes, please. What, say that again?
No public comment.
Oh.
Well, I'll go ahead and chair. I'll go ahead and second that after public comment, so.
Anybody from public want to speak on this item? We have a motion by Supervisor Canepa, second by Supervisor Rickman. Call for vote, please.
Yep. I'm gonna pull my second, since it's your district. One of you gotta do it.
Thank you.
Wow, I love
Teamwork makes the dream work.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and second. Call for vote, please.
I think I can go home for the year now.
Motion passes 5-0.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, gentlemen. Appreciate it.
Next, we have discussion item 2, approve 1.217556 change order for solar project at 9 county-owned properties. Staff report, please.
Thank you, Chair Dollywall, members of the board, County Administrator Regalo, County Council. I am here to, well, I should introduce myself. My name is Josh Bronco. I'm the Senior Deputy County Administrator assigned to the Capital Projects Division. And I am here to present a change order for our solar projects that have been ongoing for the past few years. And also to provide an update on the status of the projects, where we're at in the different phases of construction. So with that, I would like to start by thanking our staff with General Services, the energy team, as well as facilities management for all of their work on these projects. This has been a successful endeavor for the county, and so I'm happy to report on that today. Some background to get us started. So originally in 2023, the board approved a 3-year energy plan that included the installation of solar facilities at 9 county properties. At that time, the estimate for the project was $28.5 million. In 2024, contracts were awarded to Bachman and Woody for both steel fabrication and electrical installation, with a not to exceed amount of approximately $19.8 million. At that time, there was an additional $3.6 million budgeted for the purchase of solar panels, as well as construction management surveys, tree removal, and design. So that brought the total project budget to $23.3 million, which was about $5.1 million below our original estimate. On this slide, I have a summary of the 9 different sites. So most of them, or actually all of them except for one, the construction is complete. We have ongoing construction at the Hunter Street Garage site, and that is expected to conclude this month, the end of January. There are 6 different sites where interconnection is imminent. And so that is a process that we go through with PG&E to basically connect to the electrical grid and get their approval to start selling credits. And then we have 3 where we are awaiting for the permission to operate, which will allow us to start recouping some of the costs through selling those credits back to PG&E. So you can see that we are expecting to be done with all of this work by March, which is important because we want to meet the deadline of April 2026. I just wanted to include a picture of one of the sites. So this is the site at the airport, so you can get an idea of kind of what they look like. So here today, the request is for an approval of an additional change order of approximately $1.2 million. The reason for this request is there were additional material costs and also labor costs to complete the steel structures associated with all of these sites. So literally more steel was used than originally planned, and also more welds, which takes more time, more labor to make sure that we're complying with the seismic code that's listed here on this slide. With this additional change order, the total cost of the projects is now expected to be approximately $25 million. So we're still expecting to see savings from what we originally estimated. Wanted to talk a little bit about the fiscal impact of these projects. It's estimated the county will save approximately $125 million over the next 25 years. This includes about $121.8 million in cost avoidance from PG&E bills, as well as $3.5 million in credits from selling our excess solar power. When I mentioned that deadline of April 2026, the reason that is important is the reimbursement rate for those credits is changing. And by completing our projects on time, we're going to be reimbursed at very close to a retail rate for that energy that we're selling back to PG&E. Moving forward, as we install additional solar facilities, the rate is calculated on the cost avoided by PG&E, so it's much, much lower. It's about 20% of the retail rate. So it's good that we're meeting that deadline so we can continue to get that full retail rate as we sell back our energy. In addition to the credits from PG&E, the county is also eligible for approximately 40 to 50% of the construction costs to be reimbursed for that amount under the Inflation Reduction Act. And so you can see the range here is about $9.9 million to $12.5 million. And we are expecting to start receiving those funds in fiscal year 2026, 2027. So with that, the recommendation is that the board approve this change order. There is no impact on the general fund. We do have sufficient appropriations in the energy budget to support this additional cost. I'm happy to answer any questions if the board has any.
Thank you, sir. Supervisor Canepa?
That was for the last one, but thanks. So basically, we're actually going to get back between 9 and 12 million of the 20. So you're asking for 1.4 million now?
Yes. So we will actually get reimbursed 40 to 50% of this change order as well, but we still need to spend it initially.
Okay. Awesome. Good job. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Supervisor Garcia?
Quick question on the reimbursement. What fund will that go back into?
Right now, the plan is for it to go back into the energy fund to support additional projects down the road.
And then my second question is, has PG&E been a good partner in this whole transaction?
Well, I'm sure that Ravi would have told me if they were not a good partner. So I think they have been working with us to get these completed on time. Yeah.
And it's great to actually hear it's on time and under budget. So I appreciate all the hard work that your team has done.
Of course.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Vice Chair Dean?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I want to revisit 2023 and more to remind myself, I know the board at that time and went back and forth a few times with, was it Engie was a contractor, and then we decided, with our energy czar, to actually start listening to what our folks. Can you remind me what the original cost was with an outside contractor?
Yes, so the proposal from NG for the solar portion, it was $46.7 million, and that was for 8 of the 9 sites that we ended up completing.
Thank you. Great job.
Anybody else? No. Anybody from public? Question or comment? Board members, do we have a motion?
Motion to do the change order.
Second. We have a motion and second. Call for vote, please. Motion passes 5-0. Next, we have discussion item 3, receive an oral presentation of the state camping conceptual design, provide direction to the county administrator's office, and approve related budget adjustments and funds transfers as necessary.
So
Josh.
me, yep.
Thank you, sir.
This one will take a little bit more time, but I'll run through this as quickly as we can. So today I am here to present a conceptual design for the proposed safe camping site at the former Oakmore Golf Course. And at the end of this presentation, it's recommended that the board give direction to staff on whether they'd like the county administrator's office to either cease development of the proposed safe camping site at this particular location or continue with its design and construction. Before going any further, I would like to recognize the tremendous contributions from both county staff and members of the board that have made this presentation possible. This has been a year-long process at least, and we've had representatives from General Services, County Council, Probation, Community Development, Behavioral Health, and of course the board itself. There's been a lot of time and effort that has gone into this, and I just want to recognize those departments for their contributions. There's just one person sitting here today presenting this, but this was not something that was developed in a vacuum. And I just appreciate everyone's thoughtful input to get us here today. So to start, I'll give us some context by reviewing some of the key milestones. So way back in 2018, the board declared a shelter crisis in San Joaquin County, reaffirming its commitment to combating homelessness by developing new strategies and enhancing existing programs. This commitment continued when the board adopted its strategic priorities, which include a goal of reducing unsheltered homelessness. It's not only been words, but real action. Since 2021, the county has allocated more than $53.5 million in emergency shelter operations, construction, and upgrades, and those investments have supported 339 new shelter beds to this day. In addition to investments in infrastructure, the board established SJ Cares under the Probation Department in 2024, a cross-sector, cross-agency, multidisciplinary team that engages with individuals experiencing homelessness on a case-by-case basis. And in that same year, the board adopted the 2022 California Building Code Appendix P, which includes provisions that allow emergency sleeping cabins, membrane structures, and tents constructed and/or assembled in accordance with the appendix to be occupied during local emergency or shelter crises. And we'll talk a little bit more about why that's important in future slides. The board has also allocated significant funds to this particular project, including just over $202,000 from the Supervisorial District 2 funds. Thank you, Mr. Canepa. And also $3 million in the Capital Outlay Fund to support design and construction. The location of the proposed safe camping site is the former Oakmore Golf Course at 3737-3801 North Wilson Way. It's a 67.25 acre property the county acquired for $9.6 million in December of 2024. I'll now review some of the key components of the proposed conceptual design. As I mentioned, the development process began in January of 2025 and included representatives from the departments listed on this slide. The appendix that I mentioned earlier from the 2022 California Building Code includes a clause that states, "A tent shall not be considered a suitable sleeping place when it is found necessary to provide heating facilities in order to maintain a minimum temperature of 50 degrees Fahrenheit within such tent during the period of occupancy." And so this was kind of a guiding light for us as we developed this concept. We wanted to make sure that we were complying with all aspects of the building code in developing the proposal you have before you today. So toward that end, we considered two different types of sleeping places. The first, pictured on this slide, is a sprung structure, which are membrane structures that use fabric tensioned over an aluminum frame. These types of buildings can be climate controlled. Ultimately, they were removed from consideration for this particular project because the estimated construction cost was significantly higher than using emergency sleeping cabins. So on this slide, this is an example of what an emergency sleeping cabin might look like. They are rapidly deployable, temporary, and small structures designed to provide a safe shelter for people experiencing homelessness, and they also include power and heating. The option shown on this slide is produced by Pallet Shelter, and in our cost estimate, it's estimated at about $16,000 per shelter. These types of shelters have an estimated replacement period of 7 years. In addition to the two different types of sleeping structures, we looked at two different locations on the property. The first is the northeast corner of the property, pictured here in purple. And the second was along the third fairway that runs parallel to North Wilson Way. The third fairway was ultimately deemed preferable because it requires less clearing and will be easier to operate and secure. So the proposed conceptual design pictured on this slide includes 70 emergency sleeping cabins arranged into pods of 5 to 10. You can see there's a paved walkway that leads to one of the pods, and this is to ensure the site is compliant with the Americans with Disabilities Act. The design also includes a resin-paved parking lot with 4 accessible parking spaces, 2 trailers for offices, classrooms, and meeting space, 2 shower trailers, and several restroom trailers that are distributed throughout the site. So one of the things that we worked with our A&E firm on when we were developing this concept is to try and eliminate what we would deem unnecessary costs. So an example would be, in the original proposal, there was a fully paved parking lot. So we replaced that with the resin paving to save a little bit of money. The entire site is surrounded by 2 layers of chain link fence for privacy and security, and there is a paved access road for emergency response vehicles. The estimated total project cost is $11.7 million and will require an additional $8.7 million in appropriations. The construction timeline is approximately 21 to 24 months. This includes 8 months to produce the final construction documents, 3 to 6 months for procurement, and then 10 months for actual construction. On this slide, there's a more detailed breakdown of the cost estimate. You can see the construction itself is estimated at $6.9 million. We do have significant contingencies for both design and construction to account for the unknowns that are still a factor in this particular project. Those amount to $3 million. There's also an additional $1.8 million for the soft costs. I'll now briefly describe or provide some information on the proposed site's operation. So if approved, the probation department will work with purchasing and support services to establish a contract with the service provider and to operate the facility. The estimated operating cost is $4 million annually. And the annual cost to operate the safe camping site will be supported by the general fund with only minimal offsets from non-county funding sources. So before we conclude, I'd like to provide some additional context, some other funding considerations for the board's information as you determine what you'd like to do here today. To begin, the capital outlay reserve, which would fund the $8.7 million, or a large portion of the $8.7 million that's required if we're going to move forward with this project. The current fund balance is $35.5 million, and these funds are available to appropriate for projects not already included in the public improvement budget. So having said that, right now, one of the things our office is working on is updating the capital improvement plan. On this slide, you can see there are several projects that are included in that public improvement plan that do not have funding associated with them outside of potential capital outlay funds and or debt financing. So the total estimated project cost for these items is between $500 million and $568 million. So right now we are working with a cost estimating firm to validate some of these costs. So it's possible these will be estimated lower, they could be higher, but that's what we have today. So in addition to the increasing demand for capital outlay funds, existing shelter facilities may require more support in coming years. So this slide was actually from the report we received on December 9th, the Emergency Shelter Evaluation Report. And it shows a projected budget shortfall of as much as $18.2 million for existing shelters for the next 3 fiscal years. These cost estimates do not include the approximately 482 new shelter beds that are planned for development. And again, these are projections. You can see there's quite a range amounting from $0, no shortfall, all the way up to $18.2 million. Similarly, the first quarter report included projected budget shortfalls for certain county departments. We talked a lot about the Human Services Agency during that presentation. They are projecting a net county cost overrun of $11.4 million. The hospital was also discussed at that time, and they are projecting an $8.2 million deficit. The hospital and the county administrator's office is continuing to analyze the impacts of HR 1, many of which will not come into effect until January of 2027. On this slide, I've also included the multi-year budget outlook from the 25-26 adopted budget. These projections assumed existing labor costs plus 3% annual growth and did not factor in any increases because of future labor negotiations. One example being the attorney's contract that was approved today. The CAO will update the multi-year budget outlook as we get more information, and these projections will be presented along with the 26-27 proposed budget. Whoops, I think I skipped ahead. So with that, it's recommended the board direct the CAO to either cease development of the projects or move forward with the proposed conceptual design, along with the related budget adjustments and transfers necessary to support the projects. So department heads and myself are available for any questions the board may have at this time.
Thanks, Josh. I have a question. We visited Auburn, Placer County. They have tents. How do they comply with the state regulations?
Yeah, so I don't know how exactly they've determined that having the tents is an acceptable risk for their county, but in speaking and working with county council and also CDD, it was very clear that for us, we wanted to make sure we were following the building codes so that we were not creating a liability for us, San Joaquin County, should something happen at the facility.
Thank you, sir. Supervisor Canepa?
Thank you for doing this. I mean, we've been trying, obviously, I've given, I think, and I bought a van too, because everyone said that they would get ran over on Wilson Way, so we bought the van, so I think I've given $282,000 to this endeavor, and I mean, I want to appreciate everyone's effort to do it. So the thing was try to do safe camping, and we did it 4x4s on crushed gravel with tents. You know, I didn't expect it to get up to the $11 million mark. So that, I mean, that's, especially with all the budget shortfalls, I mean, obviously that doesn't make sense to do now. So whether we go back to the drawing board and ask the state how they do it or how they could possibly do it, that was the idea that I had, is if we had somewhere safe where people could go and camp, have bathrooms, have services, and then now we went up, do you do containers, do you do, and everything just costs so much money and government. And it wasn't supposed to be permanent because we are eventually gonna build, obviously, all the Hazelton Public Works, Environmental Health, and Community Development on that. So that was the goal. Everyone said, oh my God, you bought the golf course to do a homeless camp. And that was never the original intent. So I want people to be clear on that. But I mean, it's just so expensive. I was at St. Mary's last week for a presentation, and their budget, I think, went from $2.5 million to $15 million a year for 600 beds. So I'm not even gonna ask my fellow supervisors to help fund this until we could figure out some other way to be more creative and do it, ask either go back to, and I thank you for all your time and energy, but I mean, that's a lot of dough, especially with all the economic uncertainty that we have coming. Is, you know, and that was always the question, does the county want to be, a shelter, you know? So we've always helped Tracy and Lodi and things like that. And I mean, as we all come to work here and see the sheer volume of homeless folks in Stockton is disheartening because it's so expensive. And then a lot of people are naysayers saying, well, you spend so much money. And I want to appreciate the due diligence that you have given to figure out the costs of doing this and doing it the right way and the hurdles. So I do want to thank you. And I just want to figure out if we could go back and maybe look at it and relook at it. But your time and energy, and obviously $11 million and $4 million is $15 million. The county probably doesn't have right now to spend because there's so many other things that are probably higher on the list as far as county providing services to other departments that will be, you know, obviously brick and mortar that serve county residents. So that's my only concern is right now with the economic uncertainty to commit this type of dollar amount for, and I don't know how many beds, so what was the total? I mean, originally we started at 150.
Yeah, so the concept that we saw at 70, there is a larger shelter, very similar to what was shown on the slide, that does sleep too, and it's a nominal cost increase. So we more than likely would deploy some of those. So it would be more than 70, could be as much as 140, but I think it would be somewhere in between the two.
Okay, and even the more alarming note that I saw is when you do these unhoused projects like this, it's usually the cost is like $80 per night per person. So it's pretty alarming, the amount of money, and it's just kind of frustrating that it, you know, obviously government and the code that they can't be under 50 degrees is kind of prohibitive. So we need to get a little more creative. So I'll stop with that comment. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Vice Chair Dean?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Supervisor Canepa, I appreciate your comments. I want to remind, you know, hindsight is a beautiful thing. And Supervisor Gardia and Dhaliwal, you weren't here during that time when we, you know, originally were facing the Boise decision, which, you know, was basically mandated that we couldn't take people off the streets. We had to provide them shelter. We couldn't move them. That was overturned by the Grants decision. We were incentivized at that time by the state to find a solution and find it quick. If we didn't find it quick, other assistance grants would be in jeopardy. And that's why we moved forward to what we affectionately called Camp Canepa. And at the time, it was the lesser of two evils, and it made perfect sense. I won't reiterate everything you just said, but you're absolutely on the money. I mean, just the catering contract for for the site would be $1 million a year. I mean, things that, you know, we really never imagined. I know 6 South El Dorado keeps popping into my head, and I can only imagine the road we're going down here with when the floodplain, what the plan is to elevate it, to get it out of the floodplain. It could be just a never ending battle. We have a problem on the state level, you know, as everybody knows, with their funding. We've got Prop 36 that still has not been funded by this governor, and is in his latest edition. It is not either, and we are creating an environment here with Camp Canada. I'm sorry, I won't say that anymore. The Oakmore site. It was fun and it was funny 2 years ago. It's not funny anymore. You know, with probation department and the sheriff's department, everybody that's going to have to supervise and regulate this. And then the individuals that originally pushed us in this direction, the state, is kind of playing a Rosanna, Dan, and never mind. And we're not getting any of our money. So your HAP funding that we're using that we'd have to use part of this, you know, we've progressed from bandages to actual solutions. And that's the Be Well campus. And we need to make sure we keep our eye on the prize and make sure that project gets done. This puts some of that funding in jeopardy so that we can take care of that. So I'm with you, Supervisor Canepa. If I were to make a motion, which I'm not doing here because I'd like to hear from everybody else, it would direct staff to reevaluate the use of the property and/or sell part of the property, whatever, but come back with a plan on an alternative use for the site.
Thank you, sir. Supervisor Garcia?
You know, as I sit up in this seat as my first year is passed, and for me, it's, you know, you can't, in my opinion, you can't repeat mistakes. What I ask for the future is anytime that we're in the business of buying real estate, that we use every option to make sure that we look at some of the costs. You know, my question is, was the building code ever brought up into conversation before we bought that property? You know, that's one of the questions, because I visited the Placer County, and honestly, you know, when we went there, they put together a tent city, and it was very successful, and it was very minimal cost. It made all the sense in the world, and it made sense to provide a service to our unhoused, and I was sold on it. But the idea of the cost increased, and the amount of work and the amount of, you know, the unfunded liabilities that we have no idea we're gonna see in the future. It's really hard to get behind it now, because I really think it has changed. The ball game has changed with this project.
Thank you, sir. Supervisor Rickman?
Thank you, Chairman. I won't repeat what a lot of my colleagues have said, and I share their concerns. But just put it in perspective, you rounded up $11.7 million, I think it was in there, for 70 beds. You mentioned that 16,000, or you mentioned, you know, the beds, or the little, what they're called, was 16,000 per shelter. And 11.7 million for 70 beds, that's approximately, 167,000 per unit, if you're looking at the 11.7. And then you're looking after 7 years, you got to replace those, so that's just additional cost, and the operation cost about $4 million per year. So yeah, I share the concerns of my colleagues. But as I mentioned before in previous discussions, when it comes to fiscal responsibility, you know, the governor's budget just came out, and, you know, I don't think, and I want to know where our staff stands. I want to know what they're looking like for our budget. I know for some information we received from the California Association of Counties, I mean, you know, one of their worries, because of what the budget pertains to be, is a lot of costs, a lot of state programs are going to be possibly pushed to the counties. So what effect does that have on our budget coming here this year? But for an example, the Homeland Housing Assistance and Prevention, the HHAP or HHAP, after zeroing out HHAP funding for the current fiscal year, the governor's budget adheres to last June's agreement to fund $500 million in 2026-2027, down from $1 billion in previous years. In addition, there's still no timeline for distributing the prior HHAP round of $1 billion. So we still haven't received the money that was budgeted before. Supervisor Ding mentioned Prop 36. There's some issue, talk about funding and in-home supportive services and those costs pushing to the counties, and a variety of other different programs that are usually state-run or federal-run that the counties, that CSAC and other counties are worried that the county is going to end up footing the bill for those. All this stuff needs to be looked at, and to make sure when our budget coming up here in, what is that, July? What it is? June, July, that we have enough information so we can go forward and make sure our budget is fiscally responsible. So there's a lot of different issues at hand. One for the price of this, one is the state budget and, the effects it has on the counties, which are right now still unknown for some of those, that is, and our federal budget. So that's all I have, Chair. So thank you.
Supervisor Canepa?
I just wanted to have some follow-up. So, obviously, the B well was on the property where all Hazelton was eventually going to go to. So this property wasn't bought for that intent. And so that was the concern. I don't know that I would go as far as figuring out how to sell it, because until we get plans on where to draw it and how to draw it on the site, wouldn't you say that was the most important part? And then obviously the registrar of voters eventually needs warehousing. There's so many things that if we do have the property, because we are kind of land strapped at the county as far as possible places to go. So can you kind of speak to that? Of what the next steps are, doing plans, figuring out, and then whether a bond would pay for it and how that would be paid for would be the next steps. So obviously this is just to decide right now we're not doing the safe camping, correct? Is the intent of what we're doing today?
Correct. Through the chair to Supervisor Canepa. For me and our team with capital projects, our next step is to work with Public Works to complete a feasibility study for and the other departments in the Hazelton facility to determine, can we relocate them to this site? We do still think that we can, but there are some unknowns with the floodplain that was mentioned. So we need to go through that process to determine if this is going to work for that project. If it does, great, then we can continue to develop those plans. If not, then yeah, we would need to look at, well, where else can we move them? And then what do we do with this golf course property? But next step is to do that, to do that feasibility study.
Okay, thank you, Chair.
Thank you, sir. Anybody from public have a question, comment? Board members, do we have a motion?
I'd like to make a motion. I guess put a fork in it isn't a correct motion, huh? Make a motion to send it back to staff to look at alternative plans for the site. But in conversation or activities as far as the Oakmore camping spot, safe camping.
So through the chair, I would interpret, we have a board order here, and so based upon Supervisor Ding's motion, I'm interpreting the modification to that board order to be to strike everything after the word site in that board order. This is in number 2, and then to add, so in other words, 3, 4, 5, 6 are struck as is the word or, and then add a provision which indicates a staff directed to look for alternative uses for the property.
Correct.
I'll second that. Call for vote, please. Motion passes 5-0. County council is only 11:15, so
Yeah, we actually, through the chair, we actually asked them to show, outside counsel to show up a little early, so they're here, or they should be here. We can start closed session whenever you wish.
we can adjourn to closed session right now?
We could do that, yes.
Okay, thank you, sir. The board will adjourn to
Through the
closed
chair.
session.
I'm sorry, I apologize. Chair Dhaliwal, just real quick, you may want to ask if the board has any comments or reports for committees. There is one last item
Can
on
we
the
do
agenda.
that when we reconvene?
If you would like to reconvene after closed session, you can do that, or you can do that now.
Okay,
Just through
let's
the
do
chair,
it.
I'm sorry for making chaos here. I expected maybe some reportable action, so we will need to reconvene.
We will need to reconvene?
Yes.
Okay,
So then we would ask the chair to recess the board meeting, not adjourn at this time.
let's recess the board meeting to closed session.
Way easier than I
Is he coming?
What's that song? Anxiety.
Ready? The board will reconvene after the closed session. County Council, do we have a report?
We do, yes. With regard to Janet Rowe versus Michael Reynolds, the motion was made by Supervisor Kenepa and seconded by Supervisor Ding. And by a 5-0 vote, the board approves settling that matter, the terms and conditions of which will become available upon request once all parties have signed the settlement document. With regard to Durrani versus County of San Joaquin, the motion was made by Supervisor Kenepa and seconded by Chairman Dhaliwal. And by a 5-0 vote, the board approved filing a notice of appeal in that case. That's all the reportable action.
Thank you, sir. Board members, any comments or committee reports? No.
Just a couple things. One, Happy New Year to everybody. Hope everybody has a great New Year, and congratulations to you both, the chairman and our vice chair. Looking forward working with you for the next year.
Thank you, sir. Anybody else? Hearing none.
I too want to congratulate you on your chairmanship and your vice chairmanship, and look forward also to working with you guys.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Okay, we will adjourn to Tuesday, January 27th, 2026 at 9 a.m. Meeting is.
Chairman, can we all take a picture?